Hi everyone, my name is Kate and you are very welcome here on my channel where we talk about fragrances. And finally, spring. Guys, I'm so ready for spring. Please let me know if you are ready too, because this winter has been so difficult for me and it was so long. It felt long. And I had health issues. I lost my dog. He got sick and passed 2 weeks ago, and I'm just done. I'm ready for new hope, for warmth, for sunlight. I'm ready for new beginnings and just everything positive. Just send me this positive energy, please, and I will send you back because I think we need this exchange right now. And I'm just so happy that winter is basically over and we can start this. We can talk about spring fragrances. I cannot wait. Let's begin. First, pour yourself some tea, coffee, maybe wine or prosecco if you're in the mood. You can pause me if you want. You can come back to me and let's start talking. So I divided fragrances in two groups today. First group is for the first part of spring, when it's a little bit chillier, when it doesn't feel like summer, when it's just spring, when there are first blooms, and there are a lot of those here, by the way. And the second one is more when it's warm, when you really can go outside, maybe even in a t-shirt, and it's still spring, everything is blooming, and you're waiting for summer. You feel like summer is already almost at the corner there, waiting for you. Okay, so let's begin, right? Are you excited like me? It's so funny, but I have 3 bottles of Penhalligons here. I didn't expect that, but I'll take it. I'll take it. Let's start with Penhalligons. The Revenge of Lady Blanche. I recently made a video about the portraits collection of Penhalligons, and this is one of them, Lady Blanche. And yeah, this smells like the beginning of spring. This is like a bouquet of narcissus or daffodils, hyacinths. I also can smell something like iris, something powdery. This is a colder fragrance. It doesn't have a lot of sweetness, and it smells like this first blooming flowers that usually bloom maybe closer to the end of March, at least here in New York. I can speak for that weather, this climate. And yeah, there's not a lot of sweetness, only this floral sweetness. And it's very clean. These flowers, these florals, they usually have this, they might have this urinal aspect that sometimes are not easy to wear, and there will be one of those here. By the way, you will hear about my experiment that didn't go well, that actually failed, but we'll get back to that later. This one is clean. It just smells like the beginning of spring. It's beautiful. It's such a great fragrance. So classic. Vintage vibe, for sure. Because these flowers, they usually used in more vintage fragrances. They're not used as much anymore, only in like super, super niche stuff, right? Beautiful. Highly recommend. I just want to say a couple of words about this one. This is Ostara by Penhalligons, and this is discontinued. So I don't want to stop too much on this one. If you can hear kids playing on the playground, please ignore it because there are definitely some kids running around there behind the window. Okay, so I'll just put it on my skin because it's a roller. You know how I feel about rollers and dabbers, right? From the last video when I was grumpy about it. Okay. So, this is beautiful. This is also all this first blooming flowers like narcissus, daffodils, sorry. And I also smell this benzoin or styrex base here. This one is very sunny. It smells like all these beautiful spring florals under the sun. And the reason why I wanted this fragrance here, because, last spring, I fell in love with, I think they're called bridal crown narcissus, this flower. I will attach the picture, and it smells like those flowers. It smells almost exactly like those flowers, and I just fell in love with it. And oh my God, I just cannot get enough of this fragrance. I'm so sad they discontinued it, and I'm so sad that I fell in love with this flower so late when this fragrance was already discontinued. I'm sure you can find a bottle if you try really hard, but I don't know if I want to try that hard. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, next fragrance is so something also for colder times. It's March maybe. This is L'attesa by Masque Milano. And this is a very beautiful, powdery, dry, almost like paper dry, iris. And a beautiful beige suede purse or bag that you just bought and you're unpacking. So you just bought it in a nice big box. You know how they usually pack these beautiful bags in a box. And you're starting to unpack it and there's a paper there and you open it, getting it out of paper. And it smells like that. They mentioned the note of champagne. I don't smell it. I can pretend or I can convince myself that there's champagne here. Maybe if I try, but I don't want to. I smell that beautiful box with a suede purse. So nice for colder times when there's still a little bit chilly, when there's wind. This will play very beautifully. It's also a classic fragrance. It's stunning. It's so beautiful. I recommend to try. I know it's not the one that people talk a lot, but I want to talk about these fragrances that I neglected, and let's talk about them here. Okay, Romanza, also Masque Milano. Oh, oops. Okay, another Masque Milano. Let's pretend this didn't happen. Maybe I will cut it out. Maybe not. We'll see. Okay, so this is Romanza. And this is my not very good experiment. And so I even texted John from Scented Stone Drops about this. I bought it blindly because I had nowhere to try it. And I told him, hey, do you think it will be too much? And he said, I don't know. So we talked about it a little bit. So John, I'm telling you how I feel about it. On the paper, it's a beautiful, realistic daffodil. Maybe with a little bit of mimosa or something like this, with a little of sweetness. It's very realistic. It has this, real daffodils as a flower, you can smell it very close, and it has this urinal aspect, which on a blotter smells great. It just smells animalic, sensual, as they say, sensual daffodil. Here, it is there. It has this urinal part in it, but it's not too much for me. I just see the beauty of, it's a piece of art. They recreated a real flower scent, and I admire it. This is a piece of art, but on me, guys, honestly, I live in New York, and unfortunately, in New York, there are a lot of homeless people, which is horrible. But I'm not let's not talk about it now, but on me, this smells like I'm a homeless person and I didn't take a shower for a while and I peed myself a couple of times. Really, unfortunately. And yeah, it was the first time. The first time I sprayed this when I went to have a coffee in the morning. Going like spraying, Masque Milano. And a few minutes in, it was the first time, I realized that I smell like not very pleasant. It was the first time in my life I was ashamed, embarrassed by the way I smelled. And yeah, I know experiments with niche don't always pay off, guys. Not always, but it's still beautiful. I don't know what to do about it now, but it is what it is. We'll see. And of course, when we speak about the beginning of spring, we cannot leave out Mimosa. Of course, it's Mimosa. And you guys remember, I hope, if not, I will attach it here. There's a video about Amouage that I recently filmed. Please watch it. I put a lot of effort and I hope you enjoy it. And there in that video said that this is on my wish list. This is Love Mimosa by Amouage. And I finally have it. It hasn't been so long, it's been only a couple of weeks. And I finally own this. This fragrance divides people. So first group thinks that it smells like air freshener in the bathroom. Another group says, oh my God, beautiful aquatic mimosa. So I tend to be in the second group. I think it's a beautiful aquatic mimosa. Yes, it smells like you are walking on somewhere by the sea or a big lake and there's wind and you're holding a big bouquet of mimosa flowers in your arms and it's all together and it's beautiful. I smell this wind. I smell the air coming from that lake or river or sea, whatever it is. And I smell this mimosa, and it also has this aspect of a banana. Not the ripe, not when it's dark brown, ripe banana, no, not that. A little green, the way they sell it in our supermarkets, when it's not ready to be eaten yet. So this kind of scent. It's beautiful. I like it. It's so fresh too. Nice for colder weather because it's also so fresh. It kind of, I don't know. Maybe I'll try it in the summer too. Just in the summer when it's hot, I don't really want to wear mimosa. It's kind of strange to me, but maybe I could try. And okay, one more legendary fragrance, Supra Floral or Supra Floral by Mugler, Les Exceptions collection. This one is also amazing. So I believe, if I'm right, it only has 3 notes: hyacinths, incenses, and amber. And it smells like that. Yeah, so this is a gloomy gray spring morning, just before it rains. The air is kind of like there's electricity, in the air, like right before the rain, and the hyacinths, like it's darker. So this is, for me, it's not a very positive light fragrance. Ostara, for example, is very sunny. It's like there's sun. This one, it's more like right before the rain, when you kind of understand that it's going to rain soon and you hurry up to get home before that. It has that atmosphere, and the hyacinth is so beautiful. I think this is the best hyacinth that I personally found. I'm sure there's more, but the one that I found in Perfumes, I think it's stunning. It's so beautiful. It has this amber sweetness, but it's not very sweet. It's not super sweet fragrance, no. Incenses add this kind of mysterious, maybe because of incenses, I feel like it's gray weather because it adds the mysterious element here. By the way, it smells vintage. So if you like fragrances like this, if you're familiar with them, this is safe, because I know this has been recently discontinued. Still, you can find it, but vintage flair. So I warned you, right? Not everybody's cup of tea, because yes, it smells old school. But I like fragrances like this sometimes, and I like it. I like it a lot. Okay, so also maybe for colder weather, but not necessary. Maybe we're moving a little bit towards the middle of spring. And this is Soir de Lune by Sisley. This is a beautiful classic chypre with oak moss on a base. It's a synthetic oak moss, I think, not real. But there's a beautiful rose, maybe some other florals too. So it starts with bergamot, maybe lemon or mandarin. It's a classic chypre. By the way, I have a whole video where I discuss chypres in detail, and I hope I won't forget. I'll edit here so you can watch it. I think it's a very interesting topic because chypres, they have such a big impact on the world of perfumes in general. And this is a beautiful representation. This doesn't smell too old school, but it still has this classic structure, and you can guess that it's a rose chypre, maybe with a little bit of honey and citruses on top, of course. There's a whole bouquet of florals, but mostly I smell rose. It's beautiful and chic. The best way to describe this fragrance, it's chic. If you want to smell like $1 million, try this. It's incredible. It's not talked about too much on the internet, but I think we should, because this is stunning. It's such a stunning, classic, beautiful, beautiful fragrance. And spring, I feel like the beginning to middle of spring is the best time to wear it. Oh my God. Okay. Next is DS&Durga Rose Atlantic. And this is interesting because to me, this is better to wear when it's also a little bit chilly. Maybe not when it's hot or t-shirt weather, So like you still wear a jacket. And it smells like a rose in a block of ice. But you know what I noticed? An interesting thing that I haven't noticed before, that Rose Atlantic smells in a base. Smells a lot like A la Rose by Francisco Kurkdjian, the MFK. And I didn't realize that. And then I had this thought and I went to Fragrantica and I found two other people, smart people, who compared them too. Who put like not high five, sorry, the thumbs up to the similarities. And of course I added mine too because I agree with those very smart people. Yes, they do have something in common. I think it's Magnolia in the base, because the base of this, the typical MFK base, it has some mix with a strong Magnolia. I smell it a little too much there. So yeah, they do have something in common. I didn't realize that because I thought at first that they would be so different, but they're not so different. And then the more it warms up on your skin, the more I smell this Magnolia coming out. Or maybe it's lotus or something like this, some watery floral. I could say that we're done with the first part of spring. So let's move into the warmer part of spring. And here, yes, I have something to share. Let's begin with lilacs, because I think around May, maybe end of April, it's when lilacs bloom. And when I was a kid, actually, I was growing up surrounded by lilacs every May, and I love the scent. This is Vetiver in Bloom by Sense of Wood. Controversial brand for me because I don't like most of the stuff that I smell, but this one is awesome. This one is awesome. I like it. So this is a beautiful alley full of lilacs and other florals too. I think there are a couple of magnolia trees too, but I don't smell it too much here, only the sweetness of it. And I smell jasmine too, but mostly it's about lilacs to me. Yeah, lilacs and jasmine. It's actually a nice combination. It reminds me like when summer is almost there, this warmth, this excitement, this border between spring and summer. It's such a positive, fun fragrance. I smell vetiver in the base. I don't smell it before. They called it vetiver in bloom. I'm not really sure why. I don't understand. Maybe I don't know something. It's a stunning lilacs in the peak of the bloom, like at the very, very peak, when they give the most out of them, Yeah. Oh, I want to wear it. Oh my God, I want to just go outside and wear it. Okay. We just talked about DS&Durga, so let's talk about A la Rose by Maison Kurkdjian. It's a beautiful rose, especially in the beginning, in the opening. This is a light, musky, citrusy rose. It's perfect. This like smaller, these are kind of bigger roses. These are a little bit smaller, pink, very naive, very young. They're starting to bloom. Oh my God, it's so, so beautiful. I love the beginning of this fragrance. It's stunning. I love it, love it, love it. I don't love it as much in the base because I smell too much magnolia. And I'm not a big fan of Magnolia. You guys might know that I don't like it so much. So I'm not in love with the base of this fragrance, unfortunately, because it's not for me. But I just spray it for the beginning because first few minutes, they're divine. Like, they're so good. And if you don't mind Magnolia smell, absolutely will do great for you, I'm sure. Or I might be just too sensitive to something in this perfume's formula. And I smell Magnolia too much. I know that it's a bestseller and a lot of people love it, so I'm sure that most of you would like this fragrance too. It's beautiful, but yeah, the opening is just divine. It's so great. Oh. Let's talk about another rose by Hermes. This is Rose Ikebana, and this is also love. This is a creation of Jean-Claude Elena, and he's a master of, very, even almost ethereal, very light compositions. When you need to really smell, think about it. When you need to see these little touches, very small details. I'm not always a fan of that, honestly. I like more substance in a fragrance. I like when it's more full, more vitality in fragrances. But sometimes, especially for spring, I think it's amazing. This is also pink, light, young rose with tea. I smell tea here, tea leaves, not the one in a mug that you're drinking, but tea leaves and also blackcurrant leaves. I smell them here a lot. Maybe on a woody base, but it's very light. I cannot tell what kind of wood there is. It's so, so, so nice. This is not long lasting. It will not stay too long on your skin, but this is just so beautiful. And I think it's one of the fragrances that you just spray in the morning, you know, maybe on a spring morning when you're having your coffee, or maybe you read news or whatever you do in the morning, you know. Maybe you have a little workout to start the day, and this is perfect. This is like a sunny spring morning. It's very light. It's like very gentle sun that already gives you a little bit of warmth. And you are in this beautiful garden full of small roses everywhere. And the citrus too, yeah, smell. Maybe it's lemon or bergamot. It's so light, so beautiful. And another fragrance that is actually indirectly connected with Rosa Ikebana, it's Comme des Garcons, Grace. So it's her full name is Grace Coddington. I think she used to be an editor of Vogue, right? Editor-in-chief. I might be wrong, but I think so. And I read a story that her mother loved Rosa Ikebana, and she wore that fragrance. It was kind of her signature, maybe. And she just loved it so much on her mother, and she had such warm memories about it, that when she started working with Comme des Garçons, she wanted to create something similar. And yes, they do have similarities, but they also have their differences too. This is a very fresh, minty rose. It's like mint and grass and everything green. And there is nice fluffy musk. It's very musky. It's a musky rose. It reminds me a little bit of Blues by YSL, one of my favorite roses. Honestly, this light spring fresh roses, it's my favorite profile. I love Florabotanica by Balenciaga. I love Blues by YSL. I love Grace. I love Rosa Ikebana. It seems like it's my favorite kind of rose. I found it finally. And this is so nice. This one is very long lasting, but it's not projecting much. You will smell it off your skin for a long time, but it doesn't project. So maybe others will not smell it from you. Only if they hug you or it's somebody who is very close to you, right? It brings me the memory when I smelled this incredible rose in Barolo, and I just cannot forget that memory about that rose. It was just so perfect. And this is the closest that I found to that rose. Maybe I'll attach the picture here because that rose just drove me crazy. Guys, I'm looking for the scent of that rose everywhere now in all fragrances with roses. And yeah, it's very close to that scent. And we have other two fragrances. Let's do this one. Lately, I wanted to buy a bottle of Dior Sakura. And then I remembered that my friend actually gave me this decant. And I already have Dior Sakura. This one is not as light as Ikebana and Grace, but still on the lighter side. But I love this kind of lighter fragrances in spring. I don't know why, because I don't want to wear something really heavy in spring. Unless it's the evening, I go out. Here, yes, cherry blossom and rose and something green, like leaves maybe, green leaves on a tree. And there's this wind in the park. You are alone in the park and it's so quiet. This is a dreamy fragrance. When you smell it, it just transports you to somewhere very calm. Such an anti-stress. Now I understand why I like fragrances like that. It just provides some anti-stress qualities that I need in my life living in New York, with not a lot of nature, with loud noises. Yeah. If I finish this, I will get the full bottle because, it's just so great, guys. And the last one for today, this is Highgrove Bouquet by Penhaligon. This was created together with King Charles. I almost said Prince Charles, but he's the king already. The Highgrove place where he has his big garden because he's a big gardener. He has a green thumb and he can grow anything. So I think Penhaligon did it together with him. I guess I'm not aware of the details. I don't think it's disclosed too much. I believe this is one of the best linden blossom fragrances that I know. It's a linden blossom, a little bit of mimosa, maybe something green. There are trees around you. It takes me back to my childhood. I remember the scent of linden trees everywhere. I think it's closer to June, maybe. Yeah, probably in June. That's when they bloomed. And I remember running around, being a child. And this just takes me there to my childhood. This is beautiful. It's so well done. I don't know a lot of fragrances with linden blossom notes. If you know more, can you please let me know in the comments? I know, of course, Tilia is a very good representation too, but there's something in Tilia that I don't know. I like it, but I still don't have a bottle, which I guess speaks for itself, right? But yeah, this is great, and this just takes back memories. Okay, guys, I think we covered it all, right? And tell me, what do you wear this spring? What are you going to wear this spring? What are your spring signatures? Tell me more, please. I want to know. I'm so curious. And I'll see you in other videos. Bye bye.